Here we go. Got a bus lane ticket, right? So when did I get that? On the 3rd of January. Well, today is the 11th of February. So it takes them over a month for me to get this through. Nice, pretty picture of my car. Yeah, lovely, lovely, lovely. Right. So you got to pay this £160 within 28 days. Well, that's already gone, mate. So they're going on about a discount if you pay within 14 days. Well, how do I know about this before you actually post at me? It's not really on, is it? It's another scam to get more money out of you.
What was it in the end?
£25.
Ouch.
And we've been here 3 hours. So 25 quid for 3 hours makes this the most expensive parking in the UK for sure, doesn't it?
It's madness.
But I can sort of see why. It's a very beautiful place.
You can sort of understand that there must be a lot of preservation and that sort of thing needed, and that's probably what the money goes towards. But at the same time, you do wonder how much revenue this actually brings in, because this place, I imagine, is busy pretty much every single day of the year. And there's a lot of spaces here. There's a lot of cars parked up, and it's just a Friday today. It's not a weekend. So yeah,
it must bring in the big bucks.
They must be
so
making
there we go.
big.
If you want to make lots of money, just buy Lulworth Cove. And yeah, I'm sure you'll have it sorted.
How much did we look it up? We looked it up, didn't we? The owner of the estate, the Lulworth estate. Can you remember what the figure was?
Their worth, the family is worth something silly like 1.1 billion or something.
Yeah, it's in the billions.
Yeah.
And this is why.
This is why they've earned their money from here. And I've given them 25 quid.
I know. Oh, well, it has been lovely. We have really enjoyed it.
I would pay it again any day. It's been beautiful.
What's up, guys? Time for another rant, I'm afraid. Now, previously on a video, I was trying to expose rip-off Britain. Basically, shops, companies ripping off customers with price hikes. So I did previously one for Superdrug, where they were charging an extortionate amount, original price of around about £5 for a small bottle of Lynx body spray. Today I went into Tesco's and I saw this. Mr. Kipling's Angel Lemon or Chocolate Slices, regular price £3.45. Club card price, as you can see, £2. Now, since when were these Mr. Kipling's cakes ever £3 fucking 45? I have never ever seen this price on this item ever. And not only that, the club card price is £2. They've never been £2 as a club card price. The highest I have ever seen these items at are £1.50. So not only is the supposed regular price just ridiculously high, so is the club card price, really, when you consider what they used to be. So really, I'd like to know any more prices that people have come across for certain things, which are extortionately ridiculous. Kipling's need to seriously look at their pricing structure, because again, this is just ripping people off. I'd like to know, these customers that aren't club card customers, who's fucking buying this at these prices? Because as you can see in the picture, some are gone. I certainly wouldn't be fucking paying that much money. So let me know in the comments if you've come across any more like this, and I'll have a look into it. But like I said, this is just trying to expose these shops for what they're doing to these customers. It's wrong. Have a good day.
rip-off tourist attractions. This country is full of them, and you have messaged in your dozens to suggest this is one. Let's find out. I'm at Cadbury World, widely considered to be the worst value tourist attraction in the whole country after the Harry Potter Studios. I paid £21 for my ticket, and we're in Birmingham, as you guessed by the weather. As you arrive, you are given some quotation marks free chocolate, but have to pay £1 if you want a bag in which to carry it. We start in the South American rainforest, learning about where the cocoa beans grow, and it was heartwarming to see that when the natives welcomed in their European guests, the trade was fair, equal and beneficial to all. We then see the cocoa beans making their way to Europe and chocolate becoming popular there. I did wonder who was growing the beans, but I thought it best not to ask. Next, the photos were 12 quid. Who guessed 12 quid? Oh look, a penny crushing machine. Gift shop is the gift shop, as you'd expect, but there is also a factory shop where you can buy an ungodly amount of chocolate. I'm talking pallets of the stuff and save literally pounds over what you'd pay in the shop. The whole thing does feel dated, and it depends whether you think £21 is a lot of money or not. Let's be honest, if this was in London, it would be at least 60 quid to get into, with another £40 for fast track, so swings and roundabouts.
This is another example of rip-off Britain. Anyway, we queued up and I asked for a loaded breakfast here. Sounds good on the menu. Golden hash browns with bangers and beans, tomato sauce, sprinkled with bacon bits, and that is it. I don't think you can see and really appreciate how small that is, but it's basically just some beans. It's not even proper sausage. It's like a Frankfurter boiled sausage as well. £9. It's just gets on my nerves. Everywhere you go is just complete and utter rip-off. Right, I've just dived into it a bit more, but it's literally 3 hash browns covered with beans. There isn't even hardly any sausage in there either. Oh, that's the sausage. There is a small bit of sausage in there. It's just like, can you not just go somewhere and get some sort of value for money, or is everywhere you go has to take the piss out of you? That probably cost 50p to make, 3 hash browns, maybe less than £1. That did not touch the sides at all. I was just having a long conversation with my sister, and it's just like, the UK is fallen. It's just a complete and utter rip-off. I don't know how anyone survives or has any fun. You know, for 4 of us to come here to a farm just to look at some animals, this is £100 day out before you start including the cost of food and all the other stuff. So, you know, to bring your family here, by the end of the day, you're probably looking about £160, something like that, for a day out at a farm, you know, in the middle of nowhere. So there you are.
So watch this, yeah. I'm in Co-op, 80p tuna. This tuna here, £1.65 Co-op tuna. Now they're both Co-op tunas, but what's the ingredients? Skipjack tuna, water, and salt in both of them. Exact same ingredients, but 80p for one, 165 for the other. They're chicken, everyone. Go for the cheaper things like this, yeah? Look at this, the most expensive tuna. What's the ingredients? Where is it? Here. Tuna, water, well, fucking water and salt. Same ingredients, yeah? So, you got the same ingredients in 3 different types of tuna fish, but look at the price difference. £5. Even the Co-op one's 165, and then the exact Co-op one with the exact same ingredients is 80p. Make it make sense.
The UK is an absolute rip-off. Like, I've been travelling for the last 10 months, and I swear to God, we're just getting absolutely ripped off here. Like, everything's just so expensive. Even a packet of cigs, £14 I just paid. Like, that's crazy. Like, for a coffee, it's like a £5 for a coffee. Like, why is everything so dear? Why is the taxes so high? Do you know what I mean? Even like a journey on the tram is like three quid. Like, in other countries I was paying like 80 cents or like €1 and stuff. The prices of stuff here is just so dear. Like, it's hard to get used to whenever you're so used to paying so less in so many other countries. Like, let me know your thoughts on that. Do you think everything's just went up in price and you're getting less for what you're paying as well? Like, prices are going up and portions are coming down. Let me know.
£17.70 for that. I ain't gonna take it out of context. I'll tell you exactly what's in that. A foot long brown bread, double tuna, double cheese, bit of salad, bag of crisps, 2 bottles of water, and a Fanta fruit twist.
£17.70. That fucking hurt. I didn't take my lube with me either. So yeah, gonna be sore for the next couple of days.
I just had a very small job done on one of my kitchen cupboards. I wanted to fit an integrated dishwasher and I needed to just cut out some space to make room for it to go into. So I spoke to 4 tradesmen about this job. The first one was a carpenter. He came, I told him what I wanted him to do. He looked at the job and he quoted me £250. The second one was also a carpenter. He came, I told him what I wanted him to do. He looked at the job and he sent me a quote for £200. The third person that I spoke to, well, he was a waste of time because he hung up the phone on me after not having been to my property, looked at the job. I was trying to explain the work to him, but because he has 25 years of experience, he thought that he knew it all and was trying to tell me this is a massive job. It's going to need a new unit. It's going to need a new door. And I was like, that's not what I need you to do. I literally just need you to come and cut something out for me. Anyway, the fourth person that I spoke to was a multi-trader who I've used before. He does painting, decorating and tiling, and he also does a bit of carpentry. He literally said to me, I'm going to come and have a look at it today, and if I can get it done today, I'll do it for you whilst I'm there. He came, he did the job in an hour and a half. That included coming to have a look at the work, speaking to me for 15 minutes, going back to get his tools, bringing his tools inside, doing the job and cleaning up. He also reinforced the unit. One of the first things he said when he saw it, he said, I can do all this, but I'm going to reinforce it to the other side because where I'm cutting this out, it could weaken the unit that you've got here. None of the other carpenters even mentioned or thought of that. Neither of them, okay? Neither of them. And guess how much he charged me? £100. £100 he charged me. Let me just tell you, these people will try to rip you off. Now, I'm a female, I live alone. And I know they probably saw me come in. Do you know what I mean? And maybe like the guy I knew, the guy I used, maybe he was a bit more, you know, fair on the quote because he knows me. I don't know. But, you know, like I knew what needed to be done. I knew the work that needed to be done. I very clearly explained it to these guys. They came to my property, looked at it. That's what they tried to quote me. Don't get ripped off. Make sure you speak to multiple traders and utilise your contacts.
So we've just been away camping for one night and I just want to say how expensive things are in Britain at the minute. So we've just stopped at a tea room and we had 2 single ice creams and we had a tea and an apple juice and it came to £14.50. 2 small ice creams, a tea and an apple juice. It's not good, is it?
So we all know Britain is a rip-off, right? I've been trying to get a quote for an implant for this tooth that came out the other week. I've had 3 separate referrals. The first one, £3,800. The second one was close to about 3.5, and another one I had from a mate the other day, £2,295, roughly what is being quoted by the dentist. That's, I think I worked it out, it's like a 65% increase between the lowest and the highest price. Is that a sign of rip-off Britain? I mean, why such a massive discrepancy between the charge of one service and another for effectively what is the same product or service?
Just arrived back in rainy Liverpool. What a shock to the system that was. I landed at Birmingham around about 4 AM and I've just got back now. She's given me the room early, lucky enough, and I'm going to give you a room tour of my luxury suite here in Liverpool. I have the luxury livings and I pay per night for this room £40, and look what I get in Luxor for £40. I'm like, what the, in my life. Room tour number 1 of back home in the UK. We have a standard bathroom and shower. There's me looking troggler. Strange setup. This is a twin room but bed to back. Good if you had a fight with your other half, but yeah, it's, what can you say, luxury living. Skyline of Liverpool there, Liverpool, England. And yeah, this is my room for the next few weeks before I fly to my next destination. My bags there. Spent £20 in B&M on a few bits. I'm gonna cry. So that's me for the next few weeks. I might have to change rooms depending on the rate over the weekends. But back to Liverpool, off to go and get a nice breakfast toasty now, cup of tea, and then go to sleep for the day. And then chippy tea for tea.
There are 3 rip-offs in the UK that I just refuse to pay for anymore. The first one is an obvious one, but trains. The price of trains in this country actually boils my blood. Like, I don't understand why it's so extortionate. And it makes no sense that it's cheaper for me to fly from Scotland to Spain than it is for me to get a train from Scotland down to London or Manchester. Like, I've not been on a train in years, and I feel bad for people that are forced to use them. Yeah, so I'm just like Flixbus all the way now. Like, even if it takes a bit longer to get there, I don't care, because it's like 10% of the price of a train. And it's one thing to be extortionate, but the service is also really unreliable and just rubbish. Like, pick a struggle, either be expensive or be unreliable, don't be both. Second thing is Domino's pizza. Now this might be a bit of a first world problem. Why am I paying like 20 quid for a pizza that probably costs less than £1 to make? Like, I always think about like, oh, their profit margins at Domino's pizza must be crazy. Like, and I know you get all those deals and stuff online, but they just confuse me even more because there's so many different like deals and offers. I have no idea if I'm getting the best price or not. And honestly, the pizzas that you can like make yourself at Asda are actually better anyway. So third thing is mocktails and just like non-alcoholic alcohol in general. Why am I paying 12 quid for what is essentially a glass of juice? Like, usually the mocktails aren't even, you know, either they're the same price as the alcoholic versions or they're not that much cheaper, and I think it's just a rip-off in general. Like, it's juice, literally. But on from that, cocktails as well are a rip-off. Like 12 quid for a porn star martini that's this much liquid. Are you joking?
This gym is £7 a month. Let me show you around. I literally come in here for a day pass, cost me 50p for a day pass, but I looked on the sheet and it says £7 English a month. Let me show you guys inside. It's actually a decent gym as well. All the running machines there, some more free weights. They got is the cheapest gym I've ever seen. You've got the free weight section here. You've got a mat section over here. Loads of machines. Got a little tyre section. And then you've got the boxing area over here. Mat section. They got showers, toilets, everything you need in here. I can't believe how cheap it is. And there's also a little classroom here, as you can see, for like yoga and that. You get your protein shakes outside this gym here. Hello.
Welcome to the biggest rip-off in the UK. I'm at the exact point where the UK starts, which is this sign right here. The only problem is that you have to pay £15 to get in and take a photo with the sign. So, what am I doing to combat that? See, on a bus a minute ago, I met my friend Miles here. He is also doing the exact same walk as me, which is insane. First of all, we blagged our way into getting inside, because we really didn't want to get ripped off by this. Well, yeah, as you can see, we may have made our way in by completely blagging it. But anyway, we took some awesome photos and even got them printed out, which was just insane. What a story.
Do you know what's funny? I feel like internationally, phone boxes are like seen as like a landmark of London, but most phone boxes in London are fucking disgusting. Look at this one. This is what they actually look like. Basically, people just use it to piss in, so it's basically just like a urinal. It's not like a glamorous, cute touristy thing.
I tell you what, to people thinking about robbing mothers in broad daylight, think again, mate. Honestly.
I've been past here a few times and wondered to myself, how is this allowed on Park Lane in London? Especially not too far from the famous Dorchester Hotel. So on the internet it said this site is homing over 100 homeless migrants as what they described as Tent City.
I feel so sorry for people who live in London. I spent just one day there and I can confidently say I wouldn't live there for any amount of money.
Where would the best place in the UK be to live for the average person who just works a normal job? So as you would, you'd pick the capital first, London, and I had a quick look at the prices. And then I realised living in London is literally impossible for the average person these days.
The UK is an absolute rip-off. Like, I've been travelling for the last 10 months and I swear to God, we're just getting absolutely ripped off here. Like, everything's just so expensive.
Here we go. Got a bus lane ticket, right? So when did I get that? On the 3rd of January. Well, today is the 11th of February. So it
regular price £3.45, club card price, as you can see, £2. Now, since when were these Mr. Kipling's cakes ever £3.45?
Here are 3 rip-offs in the UK that I just refuse to pay for anymore. The first one is an obvious one, but trains. The price of trains in this country actually boils my blood.
So this video is a little bit different. I've been past here a few times and wondered to myself, how is this allowed on Park Lane in London? Especially not too far from the famous Dorchester Hotel on Park Lane. So I looked it up a little bit to see what it was all about. You've got an expensive car showroom right here. Say it's Car Hotel. These are extremely expensive properties. And to look out your window and have this as your morning view, I don't know. I'm going to take a walk through there now. We'll get a bit closer, have a proper close-up look. I have seen a few people come down, realise where they are and turn around. So I don't think many people walk through here. So on the internet it said this site is homing over 100 homeless migrants as what they described as Tent City. It then goes on to say the presence of the tents opposite the Dorchester has caused fury amongst the residents and the office workers. Then says the migrants are mostly from Bosnia. A lot of people have been questioning how are these allowed to live here. Last time I went past there was a lot more tents here, but as you can see they have a proper little setup and it's not hidden from the public at all. But yeah guys, that's the homeless camp on Park Lane. Let me know your thoughts in the comments guys. Should they be moved on or left alone?
Imagine going about your day and then suddenly witnessing someone get robbed in broad daylight. That's exactly what happened to this lady.
I tell you what, to people thinking about robbing mothers in broad daylight, think again mate. Honestly, I'm out and about, right? I've just been into Next to take something back and I was heading towards Aldi for my sins, and suddenly this woman was screaming, give me it back, and I could see her belting this bloke, right? He'd only tried to pinch a phone. He tried to nick her phone and he was screaming back saying, I didn't do anything. He had her phone in his hand and she's smacking him with her bag saying, give me my phone, whacking him, right? Security's just standing there, right? I'm shouting at him, give her phone back. Anyway, I'm recording him at the same time, so I've got a perfect picture of this bloke. Anyway, give her phone back and then he ran off. But the security guards come over to me and was like, were you filming that? I was like, yes, I was, sunshine. They're like, can we have the recording? I was like, yes, you can. So anyway, there's a lovely close-up of his face. And apparently he's well known in this area, so they better get a hold of him. Anyway, don't try and fuck with us women when we're out with our kids trying to shop and do something decent. Anyway, love you, bye.
It really isn't glamorous working in the city of London. Like, yes, the buildings are beautiful, but the reality is no one on a London wage can actually afford to live anywhere near London. So everyone has like an hour commute at least into the city, meaning that you're having to leave at least an hour, hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours before your actual start time. Sometimes, depending on where you live, you can't even get onto into a tube because it's so busy. Sometimes you're walking into an empty office if you don't realise that none of your team are in. Luckily for me, there's always someone from my team in. We are hybrid, which does help a lot. But yeah, most of the time you're exhausted before you've even done any work. So, you know, I'm just keeping it real with you guys. Like, I love working in London. I wouldn't change it for the world. Like, look at this. Today was just such a stunning January day. And yeah, it was good. But it was my 4th day in the city this week and I'm exhausted. When that 3 p.m. slump hits, it hits hard. And yeah, it was Thirsty Thursday and I could only manage 2 beers. That is so not like me. So I'm just here to keep it real with you all, that not every day is glamorous, not every day is amazing. And those influencers who make every day look like it's the best day ever are lying to you. And for me personally, I'm happy January's over.
This lady visited London once and said she'd never consider living here. This tells you everything you need to know about the state of London.
I feel so sorry for people who live in London. I spent just 1 day there and I can confidently say I wouldn't live there for any amount of money. And here is for reasons why. Public transport. Call me spoiled, but I would never use it again. The tube feels like a sauna that hasn't been cleaned in 100 years. Driving? Good luck with traffic. Useless charges and parking that costs more than the rent. Everything is insanely expensive. Even with a normal London wage, basic things cost to double. How do you people even survive? It's dirty and full of tourists everywhere. Going further to Zone 2, streets look scary. Half of your life is wasted on commuting, squeezing into packed train, barely able to breathe, spending hours getting to work and back. How come it's everyone's dream life? Londoners, be honest, do you actually like it? And does the city even have any pros?
Oh my God! Wait, is this London? Looks like a third world country.
This Aussie is absolutely done with London prices.
Another thing about London that is so stupid, sorry Londoners, but it's the truth, is the price of everything here. So stupid. Tell me why my meal at Five Guys cost me $45. Five Guys, that's a fast food chain, right? The equivalent of McDonald's. I got a meal for one person, $45. Did not get nothing crazy. Not one that I didn't get a toy with it. There is no world at all where a coffee should cost me 10 Australian dollars. That is crazy cakes. That is absolute cakes. I went to one like decent restaurant, not fancy, just like a decent restaurant, and we didn't even drink alcohol, and I'm pretty sure it was $75 each.
One morning I thought to myself, where would the best place in the UK be to live for the average person who just works a normal job? So as you would, you'd pick the capital first, London, and I had a quick look at the prices. And then I realised living in London is literally impossible for the average person these days. Out of all the sources I found, the average wage in the UK is 34.9 grand per year. Obviously, London's going to be more, and out of all the sources I found, the average was £42.2 thousand per year. And if you're earning that much money, you're paying approximately 8.9 grand as tax. That is what you're left with per year. And in 2023, this is how much rent was in London. Obviously, we're in a recession now, which means it's probably going to be a little bit less, but I have to go off a source, so we're going to go off this. So over a year, you'd be paying this much. So this is the amount you're left with over the course of an entire year. 12 months work for that. Now, say you're spending £3 per day on food, which is extremely difficult as it is, but say you bought cheap, you meal prepped really well, and you only spent £3 per day. This is how much you'd be spending in the entire year on food. You're now left with that much. Now you're spending 842 quid on water. You're now left with this much. I'm going to literally take the cheapest one for the gas bill, and here's our remaining money. Oh, don't forget the electricity bill, 725 quid per year. We're now in debt just by living. Now, say you wanted to have a life, you wanted to enjoy your weekend or maybe go on a holiday once per year for the couple of weeks you have off from work, like 4 weeks. You're now in even more debt than that. Oh, and if you've got like kids or a family or someone you need to look after and pay for as well, good luck. Now, I was speaking to a few Canadians the other day and they said it's way worse in Canada than it is in London. I'm thinking, what is going on over there? Is this just going to keep continuing like for the rest of our life until every single person in the country is in debt? And you wonder why Brits want to move abroad.
Let's talk about Heathrow Airport. Delays, lost luggage, endless queues. It's a stress simulator disguised as an airport.
London Heathrow is the worst airport on the planet, and I'm going to prove it to you. This all starts off because I needed to fly from Nairobi to London. I have a connecting flight here, but it's on a different airline. As soon as I land, I am sprinting through this airport. I know that I only have 3 hours to connect. I want to make sure that I have more than enough time to go to the lounge and get through the UK border. Now, the border is not actually the problem. The problem is that I had to wait 1 hour for my bag. But it doesn't stop there. I then need to connect to a different terminal. Easy, right? Not at London Heathrow. Now brace yourself. This is absolutely bonkers. So to get from Terminal 4 to 5, you have to connect through Terminals 2 and 3. Now again, this should not be a problem. But the train that I'm sprinting to right now leaves every 10 minutes to connect the different terminals. So I actually sat on this train for 10 minutes, which means I'm then running through the airport to properly check in my bag on time. Luckily, I have status with British Airways, so there was no line for me and they were super helpful in getting my bag checked after the time. But wow, what an absolute shit show. I'm so ready to just get on this flight, sit in my Club World seat and honestly just sleep. I don't know why I keep putting myself through this, flying through London Heathrow.
Who'd be keen to pay council tax when the streets stink, bins are overflowing like no one's shown up for days?
You do that, yeah?